Welcome back, wood lovers. It's Thomas Tonewoods, and this, I think it's fair to say, is the world's premier Tonewood video series with me, Tom Sands, your host and friend. It's Friday, and Fridays, I've decided that Fridays are going to be a day dedicated to some extra special wood, and today we're looking at one of my favourites, or at least a wood that is very dear to my heart. It is Juglans regia. It is English walnut, and you might argue is the finest cabinet grade timber available in the world throughout history. When I was at the start of my woodworking career, I was a cabinet making apprentice, and I worked with a gentleman named Win Bishop at the Rupert McBain studio. And when I was beginning my training, the first piece of wood that I was given to plane with a Stanley No. 7 was a piece of English walnut, and the joy I experienced at taking a shaving off that piece of walnut, I believe it was even end grain walnut, was an experience like no other, and it has stayed with me forever, through the sound of the plane swooshing across the surface of the board, to the smell, the aroma of the English walnut. Nothing beats it. And I think it's safe to say that anyone who works with walnut will tell you a similar story, because it is just so wonderful to work with. Yesterday we were talking about mahogany. Walnut is even nicer to work with. It is a real treat. And this set is a special one. This one came from Phil at Conway Tonewoods. He has become a favourite wood pusher of mine. And this is a nice little dinky set that will make a Model S. Now, as you can see, we've got some nice kind of contrasting areas of the sapwood here and the heartwood. English walnut is steeped in history. It was heavily used in English cabinetry, and there was kind of two waves. So the first wave was kind of end of the 1600s through to the kind of middle of the 1700s, when one of the second most famous Yorkshiremen, after Tom Sands, Tommy Chippendale, when he was around, born in Otley, Yorkshire, which is about 25 miles down the road. When he was building furniture, his wood of choice was walnut. So this was like George II era, right before they started to import the trendy mahogany. So as mahogany came in, English walnut started to wane. And then the second phase of walnut used in cabinetry was when mechanisation started to come in. So Isambard Kingdom Brunel, his old man, invented the steam, I think it was a steam-powered sawmill and the first circular saw, which meant that walnut could be processed more easily and quickly. So walnut has this amazing, walnut burl in particular, or walnut burr, is really, really prized. It's really decorative, but it's really difficult to process. But the invention of the sawmill, the invention of the hydraulic veneer press, meant that we were able to get these really beautiful, consistently cut walnut veneers, and in turn we saw a resurgence of walnut furniture. So English walnut is not actually native to the UK. It's thought that it was introduced by the Romans. They refer to it as Persian walnut. We get a lot of walnut in China. China is the premier exporter and producer of walnuts. So, you know, we think of English walnut, typically we're thinking of it's European walnut, you know, French walnut, Carpathian walnut. We're getting it all across Europe and west of Asia. Trees are not enormous. They're kind of 25 to 30 meters tall. The diameter is about 2 meters, and they're quite, the main trunk of a walnut tree is quite short and squat, and then it kind of branches out. And actually, the most beautiful, the richest color, the nicest walnut is right in the root ball. So when walnut trees are felled, quite often these days, the good stuff is left in the ground. But back in the day, they used to dig it up. We get a lot of really nice curl figure when the branches separate away from the main trunk. That's when you get that kind of stress crotch figure, which you often see in panels on furniture. Quite often as well, because walnut quite often can be quite grey, and to introduce some colour and to spread the colour throughout the timber, it can often be steamed. And sometimes you see walnut that's been steamed, it's got quite like a pinky, peachy hue to it. Anyway, I know quite a bit about walnut, it turns out. On the Janka scale, it's harder than its American equivalents, which is not really surprising. It's 1200 on the Janka scale, and we have got a specific gravity of 0.64. So let's give it a little listen. So very similar qualities to the mahogany we had yesterday. Just perhaps a little more sonic interest, shall we say. With it being quite a small piece, generating the kind of low end is a little bit more tricky. Let's see here. Let's put some magic spray on it, and we'll go for both. We'll do the whole book match. Yeah. Oh, it's so nice. And there's even a little bit of ripple figure in the sapwood, which I've only just noticed, but that's really quite lovely. There we go. English walnut, one of Tommy's absolute favourites. I think I will pair this with some really nice, clean European spruce, probably some Swiss spruce, or some Italian spruce. I've got some very nice Italian spruce, both Pietieta Bs, but makes it sound more exotic if you put where it came from in front of the name. I just love that there's some little ripply ripples in here, just in the sap there. Beautiful. So yeah, this came from Conway Tonewoods, from my buddy Phil. Be careful when you contact Phil, because you may end up buying far more wood than you anticipated, but it's all good stuff. It's all worth it. So if you want some walnut, get in touch with Phil. He's got some good stuff. And so concludes. Actually, I need to do some housekeeping. I've just remembered. Let's see here. Shlomo asks me to talk about tone rights, which are, I think the tone right is a little module that you attach to the strings of your guitar or the face of your guitar. I can't quite remember, and it generates. It vibrates, and the idea is that it's to open up your guitar. It's getting the guitar to move in the way that it will as a functioning instrument, and I guess to kind of get it used to being a guitar. And the idea is that it opens the guitar up quicker. The guitar reaches its potential as an instrument a lot quicker. How do I feel about them? I actually had one in the shop for quite a while, and I was not inclined to use it, because to me it's like part of the magic is witnessing a guitar opening up over time. Especially when the guitar is new, it changes so much. It's kind of like, I don't know, I'm not a parent, but it would be almost like, you know, you've got a little baby and you're wanting it to run and you're wanting it to go off to university like in the first 6 months. So there's magic in waiting. Been pulled up for misspeaking and saying that Honduras was in South America. I am aware that Honduras is in Central America. Thank you for that. How about some more Mexican woods? Well, thanks in part to you guys watching the channel and engaging with it, I have got some exciting news next week. An exciting package is arriving on Monday, and it may or may not contain some Mexican woods. And I think that will be... Oh, somebody's asking about Brazilian rosewood. It's coming. Maybe we'll do Brazilian tomorrow. That would be exciting for a Saturday. Nice bit of weekend Brazilian. So with that, I'll conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe, hit the bell, like, and watch the video to the end, because it really helps the channel, the analytics and all that kind of thing. All the stuff that I'm starting to get really nerdy about with a view to growing the channel. So thank you for supporting, and we'll see you tomorrow.